What is up, hashtag FURRYPACK? Welcome to a brand new video. Tonight we're playing CSGO Deathmatch. And I already got wrecked. Man, my Deagle did not do a thing there. And obviously we're playing on my freaking whole new desktop. Or my upgraded desktop, that is. It's basically considered brand new since all the parts are new, and I mean, I changed like the major components that make it a new computer. But other than that, man, I am enjoying it. This is gonna be the first exact full day that I will be having this computer. And everything, you know, is 100% fully set up back to the way before I upgraded, with like all my editing software installed and the settings are already there. You know, I already like completed finishing up all the settings. I set up my OBS so that the next time I live stream, all I have to do is, you know, create an event on YouTube or, you know, promote the stream on if I'm gonna be doing it on Twitter, and then just hit to go live right away, and there we go. But man, the improvement in games on this machine, it's absolutely insane. So right now I'm playing CSGO. Damn it, chicken, you live this day. You live that day, chicken. Well, it's absolutely insane. I'm maybe playing CSGO right now, which you may go like, well, dog, didn't your PC just run that game at like 100 FPS already? Or like, you know, any cheap PC, any budget PC could easily, you know, run CSGO just fine. And well, here's one thing. I benchmarked a lot of games in a whole lot of different software and stuff like that, right? But I'm talking about like CSGO for now, because like that's what I'm playing right now in this video. Well, I was running on the FX, you know, 4300 processor. That processor is literally a freaking dinosaur in the PC world. That's a dinosaur that was still alive, alright? That was a living dino. And, you know, that thing still is alive, obviously. It's just right now it's retired until, you know, I figured out what exactly I'm going to be doing with it. Potentially might actually rebuild that system in another case. But other than that, you know, with that processor, 8 gigs of DDR3, which was, I believe, clocked at like 1600 megahertz as well. I mean, wasn't very awesome. I mean, it was actually a really good PC, especially for, you know, when I first eventually got the PC. You know, for the first time that I had it for and everything. Freaking fantastic computer. You know, it went through a lot of live streams, a lot of editing. You know, it went through a lot. Alright, that PC was freaking amazing. And well, on CSGO, my average frame rate, I mean, I was able to reach 100 to like 120, you know. However, what I really did average most of the time was more of a solid 80 FPS, because it would make it to like the 100 marks, right, and then it would just dip down to like the 80s, but it wouldn't ever go below 80. It will always still be really replayable higher than 60. Now that I have this upgrade, right, 16 gigs of DDR4, which it is clocked at 24 megahertz, kind of still a little slowish, but definitely much more improvement than what I used to have it. And it is overclockable, the RAM is, I just haven't done that. However, my CPU though is a 6-core and it's the Ryzen 5 2600. Really fantastic CPU, really nice. And man, that's actually overclocked to its maximum clock that it's listed on the actual box, 3.9. The base is a 3.4, and man, I am well over, you know, the 100 FPS mark. I mean, I make it to the 200 easily. 200, I can even make it to like 300, depending on the maps and stuff like that. And then the servers of CSGO running. But what is it? But still, ew, I will, no matter what, I'm always above 140 FPS, regardless, without it ever really dropping at all, and it's amazing. And that's just on CSGO. I tested a whole bunch of my other games that I used to have a struggle running, where, for example, Ark. That's a game my FX processor was able to run, right? But it wasn't able to run it always smoothly and always really well. You know, I'll be on a lot of mixed settings from, you know, some varying to like epic, some on mid, some on like the lowest possible. You know, I'll actually mess around with the resolution scale a little bit from being 100% to, you know, like maybe 90, right? You know, I'll mess around with a lot of settings so I could still get a solid, you know, 1080p, mid settings quality experience, while still trying to maintain a solid, you know, 30 FPS at the very least playable game. And my FX was able to run it at a good, like, around 45 average, right? Actually not bad. You know, the game made of looked kind of potato-ish, but it was still really fun, still really playable, and to me, I liked it. You know, it would stutter quite a lot here and there, especially if you tried playing on, like, you know, unofficial servers with a bunch of mods. By the way, I'm getting wrecked a lot, so that's probably what's going to be in the title, is getting wrecked. And then Deathmatch, of course. I don't know what the third thing might be, unless it might just be PC Talks or something like that. But, yeah, other than that, man, like, you know, the game still ran, but, man, oh boy, the CPU usage was up there for sure at the same time too, though. Now this AMD Ryzen CPU usage is pretty low, really nice, while still running my games really fantastically smooth. And the only thing that kind of holds it back on some few games will probably just be the GPU. The only thing I didn't actually upgrade, which is my RX 460, but that graphics card is still actually one of the better graphics cards you could get for the money, you know, when it's, you know, because that graphics card originally, and I say originally because right now the PC market is screwed over badly, so originally it's like $100 graphics card and $100 GPU, and for that price, this is like the #1 GPU you could easily get, either this or the GTX 1050, which I believe that's usually like, I don't know, probably like 20 bucks more than the RX 460, but both of them give you very close, similar, performance. Like, it's kind of hard to tell the difference a bit, besides like, you know, 1 or 2, maybe 5 FPS difference in most games, you know. And what is it? Man, it's still a really nice GPU, and I don't plan on upgrading it anytime soon until, you know, I'm able to afford a new GPU, and then also until the market, you know, for GPUs goes down in price. Like, that's a huge key factor, and also to make up my mind of what would be the GPU. But regardless, in a game like Ark, playing that at, you know, the standard, you know, medium preset at 1080p, well, easily stay above 60 frames per second quite fine. I could play on high settings as well if I wanted to, and I could actually still be above the 60. I believe on high settings it will average around, I think, probably the 80s and all that. However, that's also like, what is it? I believe slightly bottlenecking the RX card. My RX graphics card, because it's a 2 GB card, and Arc would prefer more video RAM, and it only has 2 gigs, obviously. And it's not an insanely strong card. However, my GPU is also stock as well. So that could also be overclocked now just fine, since I have my CPU overclocked. Which, if I probably do, I might be able to go ahead and push it a little further on more frames and games. But I think I might just keep some things stocked, because, I mean, I don't feel like going so crazy on my, PC. The only reason why I overclocked my CPU was only because my FX, you know, processor was always at a 3.8, you know, that was its native base clock. But I liked having the ability to have that nice, faster, base speed. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and overclock my Ryzen when I receive that, so that I could go ahead and get, you know, the similar speed of that FX, you know, CPU that I had, you know. And it's 1 point over because it's at 3.9 instead of 3.8, and I could easily go higher than that. I could still push it to like a 4.0 or 4.1, maybe even a 4.2 if lucky. Well, it really depends. And cooling wise, still really nice and chilly, you know. When gaming under load, I believe the maximum will be somewhere around like 64, really nice. And then my average, you know, somewhere around like 52. And what is it, idle? It'll stay at a nice, warm, but also kind of chilly, like, you know, 38, which is not that bad for an AMD, Ryzen. And also, you know, like, yeah, man, not bad, especially for it being overclocked, like, because everybody knows especially if you're like, you know, someone pretty smart in the PC world, overclocking your CPU, right, upping up the voltage a little bit, and then decreasing it after you up it up a slight bit to where it's perfect, you know, to where your PC is stable, you know, to keep that overclock you want, right? Well, either way, that small increase and slight decrease until you find the perfect voltage is still will go out, right? Just to speed up that processor, you know, with that overclock. It still will go ahead and obviously make your PC run a little warmer than what it usually will. That's just how overclock works, you know. It's gotta run a little warmer, but that's why you gotta have, you know, proper cooling. Which is why people always say, never overclock with a stock cooler. Unless you actually have a stock cooler that's good. But, I mean, most brands out there, like Intel and obviously AMD, they don't really give you a stock cooler that's meant for overclocking. I mean, the new AMD stock cooler that actually came with my processor, which I am not using, I'm using my Hyper EVO 212. Well, that stock cooler, I actually could overclock it a slight bit. Probably not the maximum base speed that they recommend, at 3.9 on that stock cooler, but for sure, I would say maybe like 2 points more, like a 3.6. I think that would, like, you know, just 2 gigahertz up above. You know, I'm pretty sure that's doable and it'll be, you know, nice and fine. But going any higher than that, I feel like you might want to change that cooler for sure. But man, yeah, that's. I guess this video is just literally, you know, me playing Deathmatch, obviously, and getting wrecked a lot, and then also, you know, chatting about PCs. You know, I'm probably gonna go ahead and put PC chat for like the last thing in the title. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish this whole match here for the video. Probably gonna actually end it here. You know, the next step that I get will probably be where I end it. So let's see if I can go ahead and make it last. Yeah, see, look at that. I'm making it last for sure, boys. Making a little comeback right here, right now. Let's go ahead and do this. I accidentally hit Windows key. Great. There we go. Oh, I'm still alive. Oh. That's what happens when you hit the Windows key. Alright, well, I'm gonna end it there. Yeah. This video was really out of place, really random. I honestly didn't know what the hell I was doing. But other than that,
how I doing?
Peace out, everybody. People are randomly talking in my game now. So yeah, I guess will be then. I'm just gonna leave this match because I gotta edit this video, which, you know, that's the nice part about this. Render times, a lot faster, and editing as well with that 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. Like, you know, having 16 gigs, going from 8 going to 16, definitely a huge improvement because it allows me to go ahead and play the videos while I edit, like the playback feature, you know, the little preview. I can play it at the maximum resolution to what I'm editing the video in, or what the native video was recorded in, without having it to be laggy and all that. Even with a whole bunch of edits and effects, special effects and all that added, I could even go ahead and edit 4K and render 4K in really reasonable fast speeds, which is nice. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed tonight's video, and peace out. #FurryPack. Rekt.